Alright guys, we're gonna dive into it. Somebody cut this lock off this trimmer rack. I'm not very happy about it. Fortunate part to all this is that you can see here we have a bungee cord on here. This thing is broken. It's supposed to spring back. Springs out in it. It's a few years old, and like I said, I'm not happy that this had to happen, but it did, unfortunately. So the story goes like this. We're 45 minutes from home. We had to jump in the Ram to do our mowing route because we were having some front end issues with the Chevy, which is our normal work truck. Get down to Monticello specifically. Like I said, it's 45 minutes from here. Get out of the truck, get ready to jump on the first lawn, and we realize that the trimmers are locked to the trailer.
The trimmers are locked to the trailer. And guess
What? Because I drove that other truck, we don't have the key for the trimmer rack. So here I am, 45 minutes away from home, no key, my trimmers are locked to the trimmer rack. Well, what do you do? So my first thought was, well, hey, let's go buy a new electric weed whip because next year we're gonna need a new one anyways, because I'm slowly getting out of the gas. The electric's been good to go. So I'm like, we'll just go spend $350 or whatever they are on the new FSA 135R. So my thought was just buy that new electric trimmer that we're gonna end up purchasing next year anyways, because I had the batteries in the truck. Fortunately, I had an extra rigid battery too. So I was like going through some stuff in my head. I'm like, well, why don't we just call around to some local dealers and see who has one? Well, we called 3 of the closest steel dealers that we could, and none of them unfortunately had this trimmer. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna buy another gas one. We're not going down that route again. $369 for a new gas one anyways. So we were invested in this battery stuff, might as well just keep going with that. So that wasn't really an option. I'm like, well, we're not going to run back home because 45 minutes, all that gas money, all that wasted time when I could have been out making, well over $100 an hour. Well, after I determined that we weren't going to run back home and grab the keys and lose all that time, an idea popped into my head. As I stated earlier, we had an extra rigid battery for we keep an air compressor, a little handheld air compressor with us, and the impact gun in case something should happen with the mower blades. So I'm like, well, why don't we just go buy a cordless grinder? So this is the grinder we bought, but it didn't have this wire wheel on it. It had a cutoff wheel. I purchased 2 of them in case the first one burnt out, and sacrificed the trimmer rack, which is already broken. If this was a perfectly functioning trimmer rack, I probably would have bought a lock picking kit or called a locksmith maybe. But we just ended up hacking away at this. To make this story even more interesting, when I filled up the gas in the morning, I forgot to put the cap back on, so I was spilling gas all over. So as I was grinding this, there was gas literally spilled all over the side of the trailer. So I'm like throwing everything I can over the gas here, all the sweatshirts we had in the truck and stuff to keep the sparks off the gasoline. Of course, to make it even more fun, the fire extinguisher is actually in this truck, which we didn't have in that truck, which that truck was the one that we had when we were cutting this off. So I didn't even have a fire extinguisher. Anyways, kind of a dumb deal, but we ended up getting it off. The grinder, I don't know, it was $150 or whatever. So I'm kind of thrilled that I got a cordless rigid grinder, which will come in handy for certain circumstances. So I know you guys were probably clicking on this video and were thinking, well, it wasn't me that cut this off. It was somebody that was probably trying to steal the trimmers. Well, I'm sure the people in the Home Depot parking lot got quite the show watching me grind away at this trimmer rack. Thankfully, I was wearing my apparel here, so at least I could have shown, you know, that I did have this. This was my rig, you know. So anyways, I thought you guys might enjoy that story, but comment down below and let me know what you guys would have done in that instance, I guess you could say. Just let me know what you would have done, and maybe I did the right thing, made the right call. Would you have done the same thing? I want to know down in the comments below. But hey guys, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Still got a little ways to go before we're monetized, but when I do get monetized, I want to buy a new trimmer rack. So if you would, click on that subscribe button so we can get ourselves a new trimmer rack. For now, it still works. I just can't lock it, so we take the trimmers off, you know, at night, and when we go in places, I try to stick them where they're not visible. So appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one, and hopefully the next one won't be another crazy video like this one. So hopefully we're not hacking away at stuff. We'll see you guys on the next one. God bless.